Right lads, we need to talk about testosterone, and in this video I'm going to tell you how to raise your testosterone levels to 900 plus naturally, and this is going to reclaim your drive, your energy. You're going to be feeling great, you're going to be feeling confident, and just going to be feeling good all around, right? I feel like most people nowadays are probably, sitting around like a 40% battery and they don't even really know it. I mean, this was certainly me back in the day. If this is you, if you're tired all the time, if you've got low motivation, if you're not feeling sharp, if building muscles is a struggle, that's not normal. It's probably down to low test, to be honest. If you're feeling off, it's not just in your head. But the good news is we can actually fix it naturally. You don't need to be, injecting, using any testosterone replacement therapy or anything like that. We can do this all naturally. So I'm going to take you through it today. So, I mean, first off, let's talk about why this even matters, because, a lot of people hear testosterone and think it's just about looking wedge or shagging, but it's actually a lot more than that. I mean, testosterone for a man is your energy, it's your drive, it's your focus, it's your confidence, it's literally your go button. And when your T levels are high, you feel sharp. When I know in the past I felt clear, I know what I need to do, I'm actually getting things done, everything just feels like it's going right in life for once. And it always just gives you that bit of edge. You wake up and you just, I don't know, ready to attack the day. Back in the day I was waking up 5 a.m, going for 10k runs, no problems. You train harder, you recover faster, you stress less, and your mood is just 100% better. But when it's low, and yeah, I've definitely been there, 127 kilos, everything feels like a slog. You just sort of existing. It's not just laziness, it's actual chemistry that's going on. And the scary part is most of what's killing your testosterone is completely normalized. Supermarket food, stress, poor sleep, microplastics, is all of society at the minute is stacked against you. So we're going to dig into how you can actually fight back. All right, number one thing you've got control over is what you're putting in your mouth. So food either builds your hormones or completely ruins them. So the first thing I've added back into my diet is red meat, steak, mince, liver, lamb steaks, whatever you can do, just get it in your diet basically. Liver is a fucking superfood as well. So it might sound grim, it does actually taste quite grim. But I mean, it's full of zinc, B vitamins, cholesterol, all the stuff that your body needs to produce a healthy amount of testosterone. In fact, an optimal amount of testosterone. Somewhere in there, you definitely need to get some eggs in. All right, every day for dinner, along with my steak, I'll have 4 eggs because they've got loads of cholesterol, which is going to be really good for producing testosterone. I have these quite a late dinner because that means that later at night I've got all the fuel that I need to produce testosterone, which as far as I'm aware mostly happens overnight. Another good source where you can get good testosterone production is through seafood. Now, I don't really like seafood, so I typically go for more sort of salmon is about as far as I go with that, or some other type of fish. But I mean, if you can get sardines, oysters, any sort of oily fish that's full of omega-3s, it's going to keep the inflammation down and your hormone production is going to be insane. And listen, you don't need to be scared of fats, unlike what society's fucking portrayed them to be, right? Olive oil, avocados, Brazil nuts. I actually have some Brazil nuts every night, literally right before bed. These all help healthy testosterone production. Not all fats are equal though, so we're not like counting McDonald's or seed oils and that shit. Obviously, you don't want to skip out your veggies either. Things like, broccoli, sprouts, cabbage. They're going to be a really great way to just balance out your fucking meals anyway, because having loads of meat sometimes can just get a bit boring. So always include that as well. Generally, just try and stick to the whole foods. Proper meat, fish, eggs, nuts, real oils, bit of veg, and ditch your fake crap, and you're already winning. Now, that's pretty much everything that you need to be incorporating into your diet, but let's talk about the stuff that you don't want in there. So, the kill list. First up is UPF, ultra processed foods. And if you've read Ultra Processed People by, it's called Mike Tullen, I believe. It's a really good book. Then you know this stuff is evil. UPF is pretty much just lab food, and it's designed to hit your brain like a fucking slot machine. It's not food, it's formulas, it's fucking chemical concoctions. You know, think seed oils, protein bars, fizzy drinks, flavoured water, cereal, fake healthy snacks, ready meals, all that shit. Anything that's got a label on it that says it's healthy, low fat, high protein, all that shit, it is complete fucking bollocks. It's all just matrix shit. And as I was mentioning before, where you've got the healthy fats, what all of this food is doing is actually producing an unhealthy fat. So this is called visceral fat. It's the fat that hangs around your gut and your organs. It literally burns testosterone into estrogen, and that is literally backed by science as well. So not only are you getting fatter, but you're also becoming hormonally weaker. Next on the list, I'd definitely say is alcohol, especially beer, is completely estrogenic. It completely wrecks your sleep and it trashes your liver, which is where you actually metabolize hormones. And then you've got your plastics and your chemicals. You know, watch out for anything that's BPA. All this sneaky shit in water bottles, containers, packaging. They leach fake estrogen into your system. So, I mean, if you can afford it, try and buy some glass bottled water. Otherwise, just try and, you know, do your best to make sure it's BPA free, etc. And finally, chronic stress and no sleep. I mean, sleep is literally the most powerful antioxidant there is. In terms of longevity, sleep should be the one thing that you're trying to prioritize most. If you're constantly tired, you know, not sleeping, always scrolling before bed, just setting yourself up for hormonal burden. So yeah, no junk food. You know, don't go out getting pissed every weekend. I personally don't drink, but it's not because of food necessarily. I get, you know, some people want to have a drink, but just don't do it every weekend. Stop living on screens and, you know, smashing caffeine with 5 hours sleep. That's the problem right there. So what do you actually do about it? This is the testosterone game plan. So what you do want to do, key takeaways from this: eat whole, real, nutrient-dense foods. Okay? Now, next you want to lift heavy. Make sure you're getting those compound lifts in. You know, things like deadlifts, shoulder press, chest press. All really good for testosterone production. Sleeping 7 to 9 hours a night. The minimum amount of sleep I'll get is 7 hours. Now I'm just naturally at an age where if I sleep any less than that, then I am completely suboptimal. So I'm always aiming for about 8 hours every night. Make sure you're managing your stress effectively. You know, there's a lot of ways that you can sort of de-stress if you ever feel like you're getting to a burnout. I personally try not to work on Sundays. I'll leave all the work there, and it generally avoids a burnout for me. But otherwise, you know, just taking the proper care to ensure that you're not staying too stressed too much of the time. A little bit of stress is good, I think, but you don't want to be stressed all the time. Also, you can get your blood work done. So I had my blood work done. It was actually a little while back, to be fair, and it wasn't by the best. But since then, I've had a lot of people recommend Forth to me, which I think I'm going to get that done soon again, and get my test levels. Just make sure that they're still at what they need to be. Anyway, that's the do list. So avoid ultra processed foods, excessive alcohol, microplastics, chronic cardio, and poor sleep habits. And that is literally it. That is your way to a testosterone level of 900 plus.